Okay, I'm back. Now, the reason that we're breaking this up into different videos is this particular screen capture software I use limits me to 5 minutes. So, and I really, after 5 minutes of talking, I need a break anyway. Okay, the way you're going to paint these little berries is I would first establish them as groupings. Too often people they'll see berries and they'll put one, and that's just not the way it occurs in nature. And these are actually spread out more than one, most. But you see, here's a grouping of three. There's a small grouping. Here's a grouping. Paint them in groups just like you see them. Okay. And first, just lay it out with a mass of maybe of just pure alizarin or permanent alizarin if you use that. And then come back with a little bit of cad red with a little alizarin mixed in it and show the light side. You don't have to have a lot of modeling on these, just a little bit, just to show where this thing is, and then make a few of them better, more defined, and the rest can be very abstract and they'll still look good. Don't put any detail in any of these over here, and keep them a lot darker than you do these right here, and maybe this one here, lighten it up a little bit, and maybe this little grouping here. These should be the brightest, these should be the next brightest, and then these would be the least brightest. Okay, yeah, I think that'll look real good. So let's move into the oranges and the tabletop. Before, let me just address the tabletop again. You could paint this as a board with no fabric on it at all, or you could paint it with the rug just as you see it. And if in the other picture, I think you'll see some tassels down, and that would be, if you're gonna do the rug, I'd probably want to stick at least some of the tassels in to make it look kind of arty. But this isn't laid out for that, so I don't know if I would really recommend it or not. I mean, I think it would look nice, but I don't want to make this any more difficult than what it already is going to be. And I probably didn't say it earlier, but I probably recommend painting this on a 14 by 18 or 11 by 14 or 12 by 16 size canvas. Something about like that. 16 by 20 feels a little too big, and under 12 by 16 feels a little bit too small. So try that. Okay, now, so if you do the board here, you just find a picture of a board and then paint that, and that would look good too. It really would. I'm sure it would. And remember, the overall color scheme of this is warm, or the color harmony. So keep everything fairly warm. Even this purple that you would put in here if you use the rug, keep it a fairly warm purple like you see it here. This is not a cold purple. Okay, and then just basically paint what you see in terms of the rug if you want to keep it. Do not scrape it off like you did up here in the background if you did that. This needs to be thick. The paint needs to be thicker, and the feeling of opacity, so that it feels like it could support all these objects. If not, you're gonna have the sensation that if you painted it thinly and transparently, you'd have the sensation that these things would want to fall through the table. Okay. Lastly, with the oranges, I would take this part here and I would paint it with almost straight Tor. Everywhere you see shadow, Tor, and then maybe these areas here be Tor with a little bit of black. And then start working in some cad yellow deep for the orange color. And even this little bit of a green here. That's a lot more subtle than it may look like when you stare at it. Don't go too crazy with that. And the orange slices, again, take a little bit of maybe a transparent oxide red with a little bit of cad yellow deep, and then add a little bit of permanent rose to get a real nice look here. Okay, and then this is mostly white with a little bit of blue and a little bit of the orange color. Okay, I think you're armed. Go have fun. Send it in. Let me see what it looks like when it's done.